We'll do a story today about Gautam Buddha. Gautam Buddha lived from 563 BC to around 483 BC. Long time back. Gautam Buddha began his life as a prince named Siddhartha. Gautam in northern India. At the age of 12, he was sent away for schooling to study various Hindu sacred scriptures, and 4 years later he returned home to marry a princess. For the next 10 years, they lived as perfect royalty, had all available luxuries of life. At the age 25, Gautam Buddha, who had been shielded from all the sufferings of the world, who had been living inside the royal family for all these years, got a chance for the first time to move out of the house. And he saw a sick man, and then an aged man, then a funeral procession, and finally a monk begging for alms. These sights moved him so much that he decided to become a beggar. He went out into the world to seek enlightenment, to understand the sufferings he had witnessed. These experiences of sadness influenced him. For 7 years, he wandered around and finally sat down under a fig tree, where he vowed to stay until enlightenment came. Enlightened after 7 days, he renamed the tree the Bo tree, meaning the tree of wisdom, and began to teach what he had understood. He began to share his learning with others. At that point, he became known as Buddha, or the awakened, or enlightened. Later, Buddha started preaching at various places. His first sermon was at the city of Benares, also known as Varanasi, a place in UP. You all must be knowing about Varanasi. It's the dipping point of River Ganga. And for so many years, the sermons given by Gautam Buddha have been preserved there. That place holds the wisdom of Gautam Buddha. Kisa Gotami had only one son, and he died. In her grief, she carried the dead child to all her neighbors, asking them for medicine to bring back the child to life. As the time passed, Kisa Gotami met a man who replied to her request. I cannot give you the medicine for the child, but I know a person who can help you. Buddha. Kisa went to Buddha and cried, Lord, Master, give me the medicine that will cure my baby. Buddha answered, I want a handful of mustard seed. And when Kisa, in her joy, promised to get it, Buddha added, the mustard seed must be taken from a house where no one has lost a child, husband, parent, or a friend, where nobody has died. Poor Kisa now went from house to house, and people pitied her and said, here is the mustard, take it. But when Kisa asked, has anyone died in your family before? Everybody answered, the living are few, but the dead are many. Do not remind us of our deepest grief. And thus there was no house where nobody had died. She failed to find such a house. This Kisa went back, became weary and hopeless, and sat down, watching the lights of the city. As they flickered up and were extinguished again, she realized that the life of us mortals was the same. It flickers for a bit and then dies forever. Men, women, everyone, our life is short. How selfish am I in my grief? Do not accept it. Death is common to all. And through this path of sadness, there is a way out for those who surrender all the selfishness. Buddha said, the life of the mortals in this world is troubled and brief. Those who are born must suffer for a brief time, and it ends with death. It is impossible for a person who is born to avoid dying and live forever. After reaching old age, there is death. It is final, it cannot be avoided. All of us would die one day. For an example, you see the fruits. As the fruits become ripe, they are in the danger of falling. Can the fruits remain on the tree forever? Similarly, mortals who are born are always in danger of death. Same as the earthen vessels made by the potter end in being broken one day. So is the life of the mortals. Both young and adult, both those who are fools and those who are wise, all fall into the power of death. All are subject to death. Of those who overcome by death, depart from life. A father cannot save his son. Remember, while relatives are looking on and lamenting deeply, one by one, mortals are carried off like an ox that is led to the slaughter. So the world is afflicted with death and decay. Therefore, the wise do not grieve. They know the terms of the world. Not from weeping, not from grieving will anyone obtain peace of mind. On the contrary, his pain will be the greater and his body will suffer. He has to understand death is natural to reduce the pain. He will make himself sick and pale, suffering about death. The person who constantly laments about death and people dying only ends in making himself more sick. It is truly of no value and benefit to those who are already dead. You cannot bring them back to life. He who seeks peace should draw out the arrow of lamentation and complaint and grief. He who has drawn out the arrow and has become composed will obtain peace. He who has overcome all sorrow will become free from sorrow. And far away from the sorrow and sufferings, he would truly be blessed.